Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Most of us have. It's normal. But what if those moments start happening more often? What if they begin to affect your daily life, or the life of someone you love? Today, we're talking about 5 early signs of dementia that can appear before age 70. You might be surprised to hear just how subtle they can be, and how often they're mistaken for normal aging or even stress. But by recognizing these signs early, you can take steps to manage them, seek support, and protect the quality of life you or your loved one deserves. Let's begin with care, compassion, and clarity. 1. Subtle memory lapses that disrupt daily life. Everyone forgets things occasionally. But early dementia-related memory issues aren't just about forgetting where you left your keys. Let me tell you about John. He's 66, a retired accountant from Ohio. A man who used to remember tax codes like the back of his hand. His wife, Linda, noticed he started asking the same questions several times a day. Not just once, but again and again. Like forgetting what day it is, or what they plan to have for dinner, even after talking about it an hour earlier. It wasn't just forgetfulness. It was disorientation, something deeper. If you or someone you love begins to forget important dates, appointments, or relies more and more on memory aids, this could be a red flag. 2. Difficulty with planning or problem-solving. Another early sign that can fly under the radar is struggling with tasks that once came easily, especially those involving numbers or step-by-step planning. Think of Susan, 68, from the UK. She used to love baking. Her sponge cake recipe was legendary in her family. But recently, she couldn't remember if she'd added the flour or already put in the sugar. The recipe, once second nature, suddenly felt confusing and overwhelming. It's not that Susan forgot how to bake, but that her ability to follow a sequence of steps began to slip. Planning a holiday, balancing the checkbook, or following a familiar recipe can all become unexpectedly challenging. 3. Confusion with time or place. Do you know someone who's become disoriented in a place they know well, or forgotten what season it is? Peter, a 70-year-old from Melbourne, found himself standing at the end of his street one morning, unsure of why he was there. He'd gone out for a walk, as usual, but suddenly felt lost. His own neighborhood, which he'd lived in for over 30 years, seemed foreign. This kind of confusion, losing track of time or feeling unsure about where you are, can be more than just a senior moment. When it begins happening regularly, it may signal early changes in the brain that are linked to dementia. 4. Trouble following conversations or finding the right words. Imagine this. You're talking to someone, and you can't find the word you're looking for. It's right there, on the tip of your tongue, but it just won't come. Now imagine that happening every day. Mary, a warm and chatty grandmother from Texas, always loved telling stories to her grandkids. But lately, she kept losing her train of thought mid-sentence. Words like refrigerator or remote control escaped her. Conversations, once joyful, became frustrating. Early dementia often shows up in how we communicate. If someone starts repeating themselves, forgetting simple words, or withdrawing from conversations out of embarrassment, that could be a gentle but important sign to look into. 5. Changes in mood, personality, or judgment. Sometimes, the earliest sign isn't memory, it's mood. Frank, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Bristol, started acting differently. His family noticed he was more irritable, less patient, and no longer interested in his weekly pub quiz, something he'd looked forward to for years. It wasn't depression. It was a slow, creeping shift in personality. Dementia can affect areas of the brain that control emotions and behavior. You might see increased anxiety, apathy, suspicion, or poor judgment, like giving money to telemarketers or dressing inappropriately for the weather. These emotional changes can be just as impactful as memory loss, and often go unnoticed until they begin affecting relationships. So what should you do if you notice any of these signs, either in yourself or someone you love? First, take a deep breath. Not every memory slip or bad day is dementia. But if patterns emerge, if small things become more frequent or disruptive, it's worth having a conversation with your doctor. Early detection doesn't mean there's no hope. In fact, it opens the door to support, better planning, and potentially slowing the progression. Dementia is a journey, but it's not one you have to walk alone. Have you or someone close to you noticed changes like these? Which of these signs resonated with you the most? Leave a comment below. We read every one. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others who may benefit. Together, we can face these challenges with knowledge, compassion, and grace. Thank you for being here.